Hi, I'm Luke. I'm a bike gearhead, and today we're going to be talking about tires. Specifically, how to use tubeless tire plugs to seal a cut or broken tire when you're out on the trail. This is a method that a lot of people have started to use more recently in the last 2-3 years because tires have gotten a little bit better in terms of casing and construction, so you don't see as many totally tire ruining big sidewall slashes or anything like that. Obviously, that's going to vary with riding conditions. If you ride in an area with a bunch of sharp rocks, then that statement is not relevant to you at all. But we're going to go over what happens when you get flat out on the trail and the different kinds of tire plugs. And we're going to do a demonstration, show you how to use them, and see if we can seal up some busted tires. With tire plugs, there are 3 kind of main styles. They're the ones that are affectionately referred to as bacon strips, which look like this. This one is from Genuine Innovations, but there's dozens of companies that make this style of tire plug. And basically what it is it's a little insertion tool, and then you have these strips of like super sticky rubber surrounded that are covering a kind of a little string or something like that. And what you do is you take the strip and you put it on the little applicator piece, you find the hole in the tire, and you punch it through. These work pretty well. The upside of this is you get a bunch of them, so if you have a bigger cut that you want to use multiple plugs to try to seal, this is great. The downside is the application of it is a little bit more finicky, and you need to have a little bit more of a kind of seasoned hand in order to be able to do it properly. So that's that option. The next option is an option that's specific to one company, Stans, which is they're kind of the innovator and the inventor of tubeless technology for mountain bikes and as such road bikes as they came down the line. This is called the Stans Dart. It's effectively the same concept. It's a kind of a barbed applicator, but this one has a much bigger kind of star-shaped plug that goes into the hole in your tire. This is designed to react with the tubeless sealant that's inside the tire and kind of congeal up and create a airtight seal. So we're going to show you how to use one of those. And then one that I like to use personally is by a company called DynaPlug. This is just like the Stans Dart. It's only made by one company. These specific DynaPlugs thread into the end of your handlebars, so it's nice to kind of just store on the bike. You don't have to worry about bringing it. And the way that these work is they have a brass barb on the end of it. And if I pull this out, you can see it has the same style of material as the bacon strips. It's basically this really sticky rubber that you push through the puncture and then you just pull it out. This brass barb won't cause any damage to your rim on the inside of your tire, and it just makes the application a lot easier than having to thread the bacon strip into the applicator and push it through. And they have these in kind of this smaller, more pointed application. And then if you have a really big puncture, they make what they call like the bullet tip, which is just a little bigger, and it has the same rubber behind it, but it's a little harder to pull out, so you'll see that. So now that we've talked about the different styles of plugs, we're going to talk about how to fix a hole in your tire. This particular rider had his bike out and smacked into something pretty hard, and he actually put a cut in his tire right by the rim bead. This is an area that is kind of 50-50 on actually having success with a tire plug. We're going to show you how to do it. But the more common area that you get success from a tire plug is either somewhere straight here on the sidewall, a smaller cut, or somewhere basically right in the center of the tread. We're going to show you those different situations. This wheel already has a tube in it because the guy had to get back out. So what we're going to do is show you how to stick a bacon strip into that spot. So what you're going to do is you're going to remove one of these bacon strips from the applicator. And this is really sticky rubber, so expect a little bit of a fight to get that to come out. And then the easiest way I've found to get the strip onto the applicator is to kind of roll the center in your fingers and get it nice and narrow, and then just pull it right over that applicator, just like that. And then what we're going to do Imagine there isn't a tube in this. We're going to take this applicator, we're just going to push it right into that hole. So you want to get it so that bacon strip is inside the tire, and then the easiest way to release it is to hold the bacon strip and release your applicator. So you can see that's just kind of stuck in the tire. There's some residual sealant that was left in the rim when the tube was put in there. Like I said, that's about a probably 50% chance. If you plug one of those in and you notice you're still losing a little bit of air when you go to reseal, just throw a second one in there. Just take a second one and plug it in right next to the first one. Sometimes what'll happen is you can either push the bacon strip in too far and you lose it completely in the tire, which is fine, just put a new one in, or you don't push it in far enough, and when you go to remove the applicator, the strip will come out. In that case, you can just push it in and reuse it. These things are designed to kind of be pulled out and put back in a couple times, but once they're in and they're soaked in seal and they're creating the airtight seal, you really don't want to move them until you get a new tire. Since there was only one hole in this tire, we're going to have to make a couple to show you the other options. Don't worry, we're not destroying nice gear. This tire was already thrashed. It's got, not a ton of tread life left, and he already put a big hole in it, so we're not destroying any nice new gear here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick a couple holes in the tire. See if this works. Put a hole in the sidewall. Maybe. There it goes. Okay. Now that we've got our hole, we're going to take our Stan's Dart applicator tool. We're going to remove the protector. Sometimes when you remove the protector, the dart itself comes off, which is fine. Just put it back onto the little applicator piece. And then we're going to take our dart, we're going to find the hole, and we're just going to push. There we go. You can see that's what that looks like. There's no sealant in here, so that's why you still hear air escaping. But normally what would happen is you get that dart in there, and then the sealant would come in and it would fill the little kind of smaller air gaps, and it would give you a nice airtight seal. Easiest way to do that would be to rotate the tire to where the plug is at the bottom, and then shake it a little bit, and it'll get that tubeless sealant in there. But that's how you use the Stan's Dart. And then we're going to do one more hole, just right on the center of the tread, because this is one that people will see relatively often as well. I'm going to just open the hole up a little bit. Take your DynaPlug. You want to use the appropriate size for the size of the hole that you have. For this one, we're going to use the small one. And you just take that, line it up with the puncture, give it a push, and pull it out. And you can see there that little kind of finger of rubber that's sticking out. Get this question a lot. Is that little finger of rubber safe to ride? The answer is yes. You do want to keep a little bit of that rubber sticking out. So like in this instance, if you're riding, that doesn't, the plug just doesn't force itself into the inside of the tire, and then you lose the sealing capability of it. You want to keep it long a little bit. If it's long enough to the point where it's just kind of rubbing your frame as you go by, that's fine. It's not going to damage your frame, but it might be annoying listening to it. So you can always take a pair of diagonal cutters or a knife or something sharp and just trim it down. But you want to leave about, half a centimeter exposed, just so it can kind of hold itself in place. Safely riding a tire with the tire plug, to be kind of conservative about it, safely, the answer is no time. You finish your ride, you go buy a new tire, you put a new tire on. That being said, plenty of people will ride these for hundreds of miles and have no problem. I've personally ridden tires with plugs in them. I've put 500 or 600 miles on a tire that I had just bought, second ride out, got a big cut in it, put a plug in it, and I was stubborn. I was like, I just bought a new tire. I'm not going to buy another new tire. And I got 500-600 miles out of the thing. It was totally fine. I've also had a plugged tire where I finished a ride, forgot that there was a plug in it, and on my next ride out, the plug pulled, and I had a flat, and I had to sit on trail side and put another plug in and deal with that. Your mileage may vary. We always recommend if you have a plug in your tire, it basically means the casing of the tire has been compromised and you should probably replace it. But plenty of people have ridden hundreds, if not thousands of miles on plugged tires. So you assume the risk. If you want to go for it, feel free, but just know that when you have a cut that is big enough that the tubeless sealant can't seal, it means that the casing, the fibers of your tire have been compromised, and it should probably be replaced. Cool, and then when you go to air it up, either use your choice of a frame pump or CO2 cartridge, whatever you need. Just keep in mind that CO2, typically, there are some sealants that CO2 doesn't react very well with, and the CO2 can actually dry out the sealant. So if you do use CO2 to reinflate your tire, make sure that when you get home, you check your sealant, make sure that it still has some fluid sloshing around in it. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you learned a little something about how to plug a ripped tire out on the trail, and you feel more confident in doing so next time you encounter it. If you have any questions about this stuff, or you're interested in purchasing any of the different styles of tire plugs that we sell, feel free to reach out to one of our Gearheads via chat, call, or email. Additionally, this is kind of a new series for us, so if there's anything you'd like us to see talk about with, in terms of bike maintenance, feel free to drop a comment down below. Would also love if you like and subscribe to the video just so we can keep growing the channel and keep doing videos like this. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one.